that, in my opinion, is a big red flag. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our YouTube audience. You guys are right on time. We are about to start Reckoning Esports versus Aster Army, and the players are walking out on the stage.
Players more like Flabin, the god himself. This man is a second version of Dosia. If you guys know, you are the OG fans of FPS genre, you guys know who Dosia is, right? You know, Crips, what I'm talking about. So
yeah,
this guy is pretty much the second version of Dosia. So on the other hand, you've got players like Coley and Hirsch, but again, Deadly 10 and Kishi. Recently, I'm not gonna lie, Aster Army, they have been looking way better. I mentioned this in the pregame segment as well, but especially a man like Kishi has been performing pretty well, even under pressure. It feels like this man is able to shake all those jitters away, and now he's looking in a nice form. Hopefully, he's going to be able to deliver with a similar amount of momentum today as well. Moving on forward, Woya and Dominic, another man from Aster Army that's going to be really deadly has to be Doxer. He's a man to watch out. If Doxer starts popping off, the enemy team definitely has a lot to worry about.
Yeah, dude, Doxer is one of those guys who's never gonna trash talk you, who's always gonna just walk onto the stage in a very calm, composed fashion with no flamboyance of any kind. But this man, the way he plays, it's kind of reflected in his walking style and his personality. He's the guy that can anchor a site really well. He's the one who you can rely on. Okay, he's never going to be the one to make any fancy, flashy moves, but he will always give you reliable results. So that's the kind of man Doxer is, and so far this man has been a big part of why Aster Army has been able to do the amount of damage that they did.
Here we go. Seems like the matchup's going to be starting soon, but before the matchup, you got to always have those little pep talks, and that's what these guys are doing. On the other hand, Reckoning Esports' coach just handshaking every single player. This man, the coach of Reckoning Esports, has always been there on the point with those call-outs and whatever thing that is. Again, we don't exactly know what he says to the team, but whenever there's a tactical timeout, you just see a different amount of confidence inside Reckoning Esports. So if I'm Aster Army, I'm definitely going to be watching out for all the tactical timeouts, and then I will try to analyze or pretty much predict what the upcoming move is going to be from Reckoning Esports to try and counter them, because those tactical timeouts has been proven so precious for Reckoning Esports. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving forward towards the map veto. This is the map veto I've been waiting for since a long time, and Aster Army is going to go for a Lotus ban, considering they know Reckoning Esports is a pretty strong team so far, the only team who has played Lotus and who has came through victorious on this map. So Aster Army do not want any chance on the map of Lotus, but on the other hand, Aster is going to go for a split pick. This is interesting.
Yeah, okay, now this is very, very good, because split, if you look at it, its playstyle is very similar to that of Ascent. They are somewhat one-dimensional maps, so tactical outplaying is not going to be that easy for either team, but the execution style can really variate how this game turns out. So even though the core concepts are very similar to Ascent, Split offers you the opportunity to make those executes look very different every time you hit them. Of course, a mid control is so much more important on Split than a map like Ascent. And while I did expect Aster Army to pick Ascent-ish maps, I didn't expect them to go down the Split route. So that's interesting. Followed by Icebox. I feel like that should be a pretty stable map for Reckoning Esports. They are quite proactive on it, so I think they're going to do really well. And since Icebox is in play, I think Reckoning might even pick up the Harbor Viper composition.
Okay, Astra Viper. I thought there's going to be an Harbor for a second. I was a little scared, but Viper's going to be the pick, and then Sky's going to be locked in from Voya. Deadly 10 on the duelist this time. It's a huge change. Deadly 10 back on the duelist role. I'm really excited to see this man perform on this role, considering it is the Split map, and if I'm not wrong, on this stage, it's the first time Split going to be played inside VCSA, so I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, so both these teams have their work cut out for them. Reckoning Esports going for the double initiator composition, meanwhile Aster Army sticking to double sentinel. Wait, I didn't pay attention to which one is starting on defensive side first. Hold on, let me just find out. Okay, never mind, it's Reckoning. So, yeah. Aster Army definitely need to get as many rounds in attack as possible. Going into the second half, considering they have a double sentinel composition, it would be inherently easier for them on the second half. But if they don't get a decent enough start on attack, then that second half is going to turn into a nightmare for them. It will really increase the amount of pressure they have on their shoulders.
If I'm Aster, I'm trying to put a lot of pressure on mid. I will try to put a lot of pressure on mid because not in the pistol round, but at least in the buy round that will be upcoming. Before now, we're going to be kicking things off in the pistol round. As we all know, Aster on attack and Reckoning on defense. Flabbin pushing up quite deep, already claimed the orb, and now it's going to start to fall back. The tremor was there, but it's not going to put a lot of effect onto Flabbin, considering he's going to go back to safety. The frenzies in the close range will, of course, rain deadly, so you got to make sure you're maintaining perfect amount of distance against him. Master in the close lines, got the classic. Once again, these weapons can't prove out to be quite deadly. Even the classic burst with the right click can just shut you down quite well. And this is a close range map, of course. So these type of guns do prove out to be quite deadly for your opponents. Snakebite's going to be inbound from Master. It's just going to delay the push a little bit more. But Aster Army, they're trying their best to not even make a single sound.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Reckoning know that they haven't fallen back. The double controller setup just really slows down Aster Army to a crawl. And at least it gives them enough time to have the fault line beat shot. So Master, he's dying to it. Wink got set up for success by Kohli. Deadly 10 tries to make the rotation, but Kishi dives inside, taking his head off.
30 seconds left.
And now Reckoning Esports are kind of split up. There's Flabbin on A, but Harsh is prepared over here. And yes, he kills the spike carrier, but it doesn't really matter. There's only one man who can make a difference, and that's going to be Doxer. He's been left behind for a backstab, and he clears the path for his team to come back A, and Flabbin had no idea the Doxer's still waiting over here.
10 seconds left.
That's a huge one. Last man still alive, Voya, with only 18 HP left. Aster Army just fiddling around with the enemy's mines once again. Voya doesn't really have a lot of HP to back him up, so this should be an easy round for the opponents. Aster Army, it seems like at least they're going to open things off on a great note. Having the pistol round right off the bat in your hands, considering it is your map pick. But this crosshair discipline was pretty good. The trigger discipline was there on the point. Voya, now it's balled down to a one-on-one situation. Is he going to check out the closed left corner? No, is going to be the answer. Kohli will shut him down.
Woo! I mean, I'm going to be honest, the composition that Reckoning Esports have, it really has the potential to slow down Aster Army, which can basically be a big debuff against Kohli, because the breach is supposed to help you clear these areas quickly and burst into a site with all the brute force. With the controller setup that they have, Reckoning Esports can slow down these guys to a crawl. But luckily for Aster Army, they had a big brain play. They jump into the vents, they make Reckoning believe that they're heading towards the B side instead. The fact that the spike carrier dies solidifies that presence. But my goodness, Harsh, this guy, solid shots from him. Can Flabbin deliver
solid shot? Well, now Aster Army at least have got the better weaponry in the hand, so Reckoning Esports would not want to mess around with them. Deadly 10 in the closest ball, and even this man connects. These shots are just incredible. Aster Army, they're really falling prey against Reckoning Esports, and they cannot afford to lose out on this round. Aster Army do have the superior weaponry, but so far they don't really have the man advantage, which is really needed inside a 5v5 tactical shooter.
Yeah,
and
but
so far,
if Aster go towards B, then they can actually find these players all by themselves. Harsh, he's in a position where he can't be traded by Deadly, so the B side might just look a little vulnerable. But Aster go for the split instead.
Yeah, but the reason why Harsh is playing there is just going to be contact. Harsh gets the info, he falls back. He's not going to try to commit for a fight. So it makes a lot of sense why these guys are playing so far apart. But now, again, the call out should be made that there was some presence being shown on the A site.
30
and
seconds
unfortunately
left.
for her, she falls back from the heaven. So the entire heaven control is not given away, but he's still sort of aware of the fact that there's a high chance he might be getting flanked soon enough. Aster Army, they found their presence on the B site, but they still haven't dropped down yet. So it's going to be there on the defender spawn. Harsh just trying to find some random spans, but the crosshair's a little off. An inch off, and Kohli will find the entry. He finds Moya, a huge man taken down, a huge threat neutralized. Dominic pushes up forward, takes down Harsh as well, and now it seems like it's finally winnable, but Flabbin connects another beautiful shot. Deadly 10 being shut down as well, and Aster Army, they pull this round off from the graves.
Aster Army, really good mid-round adjustments. You were right, the position that Harsh was playing was on contact, and given the position that he and Deadly 10 had taken, it would have been nearly impossible for Aster Army to plant on B default and then get into decent crossfire positions. Because Deadly's position was towards B main, Aster would have never been able to go for that kind of a play, so they take the vent control instead. They kill one towards A ramp, go back towards B, and they plant for CT instead, then choosing to cut off the rotations of Reckoning Esports straight towards the defender spawn. And this allows Aster Army to whittle out the numbers and make things more digestible.
Oh, he shouldn't have shot. Flabby shouldn't have taken shots on the flying Rays. It's really tough to shoot out a Rays who is on that satchel boost. Of course, the movement speed's a little bit too much for you to try and track. So it gets next to impossible to take that man down, and then instantly, as soon as the crosshairs were busy onto the Rays, the rest of his team followed up and shut him down. So well played and a good entry from Wink. Did his job for his team. Now Aster Army with this huge lurk might just punish him, but Doxer missed every single one of his opportunity to take down Hirsch. But Hirsch himself is now starting to get flanked from the back lines. Reckoning Esports, they're trying their best to crawl their way back inside this round, but it seems next to impossible. Too many players in the front are trying to pull anything off, and all of them peek out at the same time and sweep them both.
Yo, so far we've been expecting Reckoning Esports to play a little more aggressively, but they haven't really done that yet. Their Viper Wall is basically positioned to make sure that anyone who's trying to climb up a ramp gets slowed down. But Aster Army don't mind waiting it out, and their patience has been heavily rewarded so far. And as long as Reckoning plays in this manner, Aster Army will continue to win no matter what happens. Reckoning need to change up their approach, and it seems like in this eco round they are indeed doing so by pushing out a mid straight up. Okay, maybe not pushing, but heavily defending it. Are they gonna push through their own Viper smoke? It's borderline psychopathic, and it's a team flash, but hey, it ends up working.
And that's all that matters. As long as you're able to get the cherry on top of the cake, that's all that matters. But every single player now from Aster Army too, they're quite aware of the fact that there's a high presence in mid. So they're just going to start a funnel on the A site. A quick 8 take, already done. The spike should be going down soon enough. Site control in the hand, the spike goes down as well. And Kishi's left and checked. And as always, this man's going to pop off if you're going to underestimate him. But the shots through the smokes are a little bit too precise. Kissy's stuck over here all by himself because the wall in the front's a little bit too strong. And Kishi, it's not going to matter. He's not the one stuck there with them. They are stuck with Kishi.
Yeah, it takes nerves of steel for you to commit to a wall like that. Basically, positioning yourself in a place where you cannot have any backup. You're all by yourself. It really does make you question the behavior that some of these teams are doing, right? I mean, borderline psychopathic, almost suicidal plays. But they give them insane amounts of value.
High risk, high reward, baby.
Super high
That's
risk,
how it works. The more risk you take, the more higher reward you'll get.
I guess
Usually how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Kishi ends up getting all those frags because Reckoning were on Rico. I'm pretty sure he's never going to go for something similar in this particular round. But Reckoning are the ones who are pushing the envelope. They're trying to push out a B main.
Ooh. A really good off angle being held from Flabin. And as soon as Flabin's able to find one, the other guy who is on the B main side as well will try to peek out and unleash revenge Flabin if he's been taken down over here. But Aster Army, they do not have any sort of clue that Flabin's already on the left side. This man snuck in quite well and quite deep as well. Doxer trying to hold off the angle, but he's got no clue so far. Mid control as well. It's just given away from Reckoning Esports, and that is quite interesting. The Viper's holding all the way from the back lines, pretty deep inside the ropes.
Be fast.
Yeah. Flabin gets away scot-free. Aster Army waited quite a long time to punish this very push from Flabin, but it did not end up paying dividends. Patience, it goes and rewards Reckoning Esports. But now that Aster Army are near this vent region, can Master stop them? Spots the leg, takes their head!
Oh no.
And he's been forced to fall back. Luckily, Master has backup over here in form of Deadly 10, who stops them in their tracks. And now with 15 seconds left, there's nowhere to go for Aster Army.
Indeed. Flabin's not going to expect this lurk once again. The man's all the way in the spawn. And Flabin's going to get caught off guard soon enough. Peeks out! Position given away, but Dominic manages to shut him down. Spike still not retrieved yet. Dominic is the only man on the mission, and he will go for the save. But once again, a good round from Reckoning Esports. They realized what Aster Army are trying to do. But even Aster Army, you got to give it to them. There was a huge change in the pace.
Oh yeah. And usually when I say there's gonna be a change in the pace, I expect them to play a little more aggressively, but this time they drop it. And like I said, it is in response to what Reckoning did. I guess they spotted a little bit of Flabin's body model, or maybe his arm, as he snuck into that very aggressive corner on B main, and they were waiting to punish it. But they end up waiting so much, there's barely any time left, and then Aster are making these moves out of desperation, hoping to get the plant. Meanwhile, Reckoning Esports don't have to do anything.
No, they didn't spot Flabin there. They were just waiting for a push. No,
they were waiting for a push. Yeah.
Yeah, so you saw the crosshair placement there. If they spotted Flabin, the crosshair wouldn't be in place there.
Oh yeah, that's
Both of them would have, of course, tried to communicate and double peek him. Because that was the easy kill right there. Flabin was isolated. There's no way Flabin gets away in that corner. So,
yeah.
Again, so that just proves that they had no visual contact or any side of information that Flabin was stuck in that corner.
But even if they did not have any visual contact, they were waiting for a push, and it was in response to Reckoning's moves. So, yeah, Aster Army kind of proves the point further that they are kind of reactive. But this time, though, look at the push from Wink. He's so deep inside. His teammates slightly far behind him, but at the same time, Doxer's making contact towards B. So, Aster Army, they have been doing these split pushes on the boss, but instead of taking it via mid, they do it on two different ends of the map. This makes it impossible for Reckoning Esports to predict where the spike's gonna be.
Exactly. Wink and Dominic were already on the site. And now the rest of the backup's going to start to arrive as well. But is the backup going to be expected so late? That's a huge question. Flabin moving in close. He's going to try to scan out the entire flank area. Or at least the ramps area. Moving in quite well. He's getting a little bit too aggressive. And will be taken care of easily enough. Aster Army, they've got the numbers on the board. And that's going to work out in their favor. Another round put up on the table. 5-1's the scoreline. And Reckoning Esports, now they're starting to struggle.
Yeah, now you can really start to see them flitter around a little bit. Aster Army slow things down to a crawl when it comes to pace, but they also make it so silent and deadly. They basically walked all the way towards the upper ramp without making any noise, without making any contact, and the moment Wink spots someone out, the aggression gets turned up to 100. At the same time, Doxer also makes a move towards B main, so now Reckoning Esports don't really know what's happening, so they're forced to just wait for the spike plant and then make their moves. I guess this wouldn't have been possible if Reckoning did not give all this much map control to Aster Army. Because Reckoning Esports aren't going for that first contact, aren't going for these aggro plays, Aster Army gets all that room to set up these kind of pushes. It can all be easily taken away if Reckoning just press the attack, but that's the question. Will they do so? Maybe after this timeout, they will.
They've been trying to do that since last 2 rounds. For example, Flabin was just posted all the way up in the corner. Even in the recent round, yeah, he started pushing up B main. He got the opening as well. Flabin dashed away. So they're trying to play contact towards B main. But once again, it just seems like they're not really having a lot of information to rely on or to exactly be confident inside the round. So they need to try and do something that would give them a little bit more information. Maybe Voya can try to pop some early flashes and know where exactly the presence is, so they can try to be a little bit more on the red alert or on the high alert. But once again, there's a huge lead built, or not exactly huge, a 4-round build, of course catchable.
Decent.
It can't be done.
Come on, Deadly, come on. And with this, he's farmed up the showstopper. He's just throwing explosive after explosive. And somehow Aster Army dodge all that utility. They finally do kill Deadly. But what is the rest of the team going to do? Deadly was just playing in a position where he wanted to die and pick up a kill. Now that Wink's back online, something can be baited out. Voya tries to get the shot onto him, but he's too afraid to peek out. He's too afraid of getting quad peeked.
That is so well done from Flabin. I mean, even if he was not able to successfully execute the flank, still it's just sort of now starting to play off for the Aster Army's minds. And now they will also need to try and worry about the back lines as well, the flank. They cannot just straight up go and commit to the B side, so there's a huge delay being added to this entire push on the B main.
Yeah.
A lot of questions in the mind, of course, and Flabin once again is going to try to commit for the entire flank, but Dominic is just waiting. He canceled his ultimate, but Flabin's going to catch him this time. Dominic tried his best to fight back, retaliate, but he was not able to pull it off successfully. It's a 4-on-4 scenario. Once again, Reckoning Esports definitely can try to capitalize inside this round. This is their bye round as well. But if Reckoning Esports do lose out in this round, they will be pushed back to an eco once again. And Aster Army, they're just falling supreme in this bye rounds, in these gun rounds. The duels are just better. And as I said, Kishi, he's been looking in form recently.
Yeah, Kishi is in pristine form. This man's hitting all the shots. He might be playing a Sage, but he is a Grim Reaper. More of a death dealer than a healer.
Battle Sage.
And in case... Yeah, Battle Sage is just an understatement for the performance that this man's putting up, dude. And in case Kishi was not able to pull this off, in case it all went wrong, Doxer was having an insurance policy in his back pocket. He all the way from mid-bottom climbed up towards B heaven and he tried to go in for a flank. Now, of course, Reckoning died before that flank could ever come into fruition, but it was there in the back pocket in case things went wrong.
And you took a look at the audience prediction as well, Trips, on the top right of your screen. And most of the audience have played with Reckoning Esports inside this entire series. Reckoning Esports, don't get me wrong, they're able to find these initial picks, which are pretty good. The Sheriff shots are definitely connecting, but Aster Army, they're just always up with those traits, and they're playing the team game so well. This has been the similar type of showing, even on the map of Ascent. They play like a unit. The trade game's just so strong, and when they play together, it's really tough to separate them or to take them down one by one, because there's always going to be trades up on the board. Hirsch with only a Sheriff in the hand and a huge stream to try and make it happen. He wants to clutch it out. Finally gets the battle in hand as well. Finds the first headshot, misses the second. The flick's not going to connect, and Dominic will capitalize.
Dominic playing in such a stable fashion. We haven't really seen him make too many proactive moves. He's just mostly been there to support Wink whenever he's making the entry. Doxer, on the other hand, has been playing in tandem along with Deadly 10 for the most part. I'm sorry, not Deadly 10. He's been playing in tandem along with Kishi for the most part. But regardless of wherever these guys play, Kohli hasn't really had to use his breach utility to make some aggressive moves up until now. And whenever they do make these aggressive moves, it's not the flashes or the fault lines that give them an advantage. It's their ability to play as a unit. Rare miss by Flabin, another rare nade miss by Wink. Quite a lot of unorthodox things happening in this round, but as it stands, the man advantage has been neutralized, so Reckoning actually do stand a chance of winning this.
Speaking about stand a chance, and now there's the A site in a huge danger once again. Aster Army gonna go for the resurrection. His resurrection's back so quickly. Kohli being back on his feet, that's huge. And now Reckoning Esports, they're of course trying their best to get the man advantage neutralized, and they are able to pull it off once again pretty well. Wink is going to be the man who's been shut down so far, but there's still the operator on the board, which is going to be a huge problem in the shoes of Reckoning Esports. They're going to try to play a little safe and sound this time. Master all the way in the back, and Kishi still looking to make the side presence happen. But once again, as we all know, Reckoning Esports, they're still just respecting Aster Army a lot. They're going to let them stroll on the site. They're going to let them go for the plant and then probably try to play for the retake.
Spike planted.
Yeah, and they're waiting for this flank from Deadly 10. Unfortunately, there's a alarm bot in the way, so Deadly can't really make his way through without getting detected.
Swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Is he going to come through regardless? I guess it's going to be up to him to really cover the distance. As soon as the first contact is placed towards screen, that's when Deadly 10 will start moving. Doxer, on the other hand, prevents that first contact with his op, and he does it really well. Voya starts to chime in with a triple, and now Doxer is forced to look both ways. It's all up to Kohli. In a 1v2 clutch situation, he finally falls, and Reckoning get their round after a long time.
I mean, it was a heroic play from Voya, and that's the reason why they were able to pull that round out. Voya single-handedly got 4 kills, but you cannot keep on relying on those heroic plays over and over again. Every single team or every single player needs to start chiming from the team. They will need to find that sweet spot. They'll need to find that sweet tuning for themselves. And you can see Voya just single-handedly a monstrous performance with a 4K, helping his team out to take the round in the hand. And you guys also saw that flash from Voya towards the screen. So he basically took his Hawk out, he pushed the Hawk towards the screen, and then rotated his mouse all the way towards outside. So the reason why a lot of pros are starting to do that is, so when Sky Flash, for example, the Hawk is out, and if the Hawk is out or living for a long time, the longer the flash duration is going to be. And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing those unique type of flashes from these teams, where they're trying to make sure that the flash is going to be out for a long time.
And also hoping that nobody shoots them down before they actually have a chance of exploding. Lavender. Good shot. Kishi dead, and Kishi has been the problem for Reckoning Esports so far. He's moving forward by example, playing so fearlessly, and Kishi's just topping the charts with the kill feed now. So with him out of the picture, the odds significantly better for Reckoning Esports, especially with the A side locked down. Aster Army have very little options now. An option was to just push through with the double satchel, but Master is prepared for this one.
That's really good defense coming out from Master, not losing those tools. Incredible stuff, stopping the entire A-main push all by himself, and now it has to be a save from the Aster Army.
Last player standing.
They don't really have a lot of money left in the bank as well, so Aster Army, this is looking pretty grim. And after this round, it has to be a save for them, probably. No, they do have a decent amount of money, which they can try to go for light armors and Vandals on, or the Phantoms on the board. But that's the only time they will be able to buy. They won't be able to buy after that if they do lose out on the upcoming round as well. Dominic cooks it up quite close. Position given away. Whiffs his shots, and Arsh will capitalize. Reckoning Esports, another round on the board.
Here's an interesting fact. This man with the glasses who... Okay, not this man. This man is Sharky, the owner of Reckoning Esports, but the previous man who just waved hi to the camera. His name is Savage Yuddha, an ex-teammate of Doxer while he was in RG Academy. And now he's here to support his friend, so that's quite wholesome. And of course, with Sharky also being in the venue, his boys have all the encouragement they need. Aster Army take a timeout, despite being on such a huge lead. This is quite interesting because Reckoning are starting to fight back. And now that Reckoning have locked out the previous round with the Viper's Pit, and they then decided to play slightly more proactively towards B, it kind of tells Aster Army that Reckoning Esports will continue to play even more aggressively now, because they've been getting the results on it. So Aster Army need to find a counter for it. Maybe kill the pace, maybe increase it, but something definitely has to change if Aster Army wants to maintain this lead. Otherwise, there's a good chance that Reckoning can close out the half 7-5.
Good chance, and if they are able to pull off that 7-5 half, then of course it's a huge thing for Reckoning Esports, and a high chance of comeback as well on the second half, as long as they're able to get their hands on the pistol round. Even if they aren't able to get their hands on the pistol round in the second half and it's a 7-4 half or 7-5 half, it's still going to be completely okay. There will still be a lot of opportunities where Reckoning Esports can't try to pull it off. But keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the split is the pick of Aster Army. So there's a high chance that Aster Army should be able to dominate on this map. Unless Reckoning Esports, they've got something cooking up.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, the double duelist composition is one which kind of works out on both sides. But a double sentinel, on the other hand, is definitely supposed to be a composition that works better on the defensive side. So far, Aster Army have had no problem using this double sentinel setup as their attacking prowess.
Yeah.
And they haven't even used too much of it, you know. They're only using the alarm bot and everything as an anti-backstab tool, and they use the wall to delay the retake. That's about it. Other than that, it's just mostly been people sticking together and playing as a unit, as all 5 players, rather than relying on the utility.
Oh man, these shots are just so nasty from Reckoning Esports, but still. The problem is that Aster Army, they just really like to play with each other. Even if those players were taken out, then the rest of the 3 players are just going to stick to each other. And they will try to pull off things with each other. So the teamwork from Aster Army on certain maps is fantastic. It's fabulous. And it's really tough to counter that. But if you're still able to separate them somehow and able to bring a huge crack in the wall of Aster Army, then there's a high chance Reckoning Esports will probably be able to win. I mean, there was a tactical timeout, and after that tactical timeout, Reckoning Esports started to pop off once again. So as I said, those tactical timeouts are proven out to be really precious for Reckoning Esports.
Yeah, but how many tactical timeouts will you even use? You don't have too many. And yeah, the tactical timeout helps you get around, but that's too steep of a price to pay for just 1 round. Usually when you take a timeout, it's supposed to help you chain 2 or 3 rounds together. So yeah, I hope that Reckoning Esports are able to figure out a way that will fit their communication window. I have to admit though, regardless of the score, Reckoning Esports have the potential to get some crazy, insane sheriff kills and insane amounts of early game advantage. It's the mid game where Aster Army sticks together and outmaneuvers Reckoning. Oh, sorry, not even outmaneuvers, but they just outfrag Reckoning Esports.
Flappin'. This man is always in some of the most like cheekiest angles, and he does a lot of unexpected stuff, and that's why he's able to catch so many people off guard in the games that we've seen so far. I mean, once again, it's a technical timeout, ladies and gentlemen. Seems like Wink is having a little issues with his computer. We're going to get it resorted as quick as possible. But the 7-3 scoreline is definitely something that is quite discomforting if you're Reckoning Esports. And considering the amount of trash talk you've done on Twitter, this 7-3 scoreline has to be hurting that social media manager.
I think it hurts everybody, not just him. What's funny is that this might just actually take us to map number 3. Consider this. The next map, Icebox. I can't exactly say that Reckoning Esports are a strong Icebox team. But that being said, Reckoning haven't really played Icebox. So we don't have a lot to go on. We don't know what to expect. And they are the ones who picked up this map. They didn't really do this before. In all their previous games, their choice of map pick would usually be either Lotus or something else. In fact, there have been instances where Reckoning has banned Icebox in the past, so it does, raise some question marks to see that map being in the pool in the first place.
Yeah, and it's the pick of Reckoning Esports too, so they've gotta be hiding something, right? I'm not just sitting over here and making speculations or assumption. They've got to be hiding something. And as you said, it is one of those teams that likes to bring up a lot of experimentative plays. And considering True Rippers as well is one of those teams that has been experimenting stuff around on the map of Icebox, so I guess we might see some unique Asian comp on that map from Reckoning Esports. But once again,
I think I already know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna predict the No. I'm gonna predict the Reckoning Esports lineup on Icebox right now. It's gonna be Harbor, Viper, Sky, Killjoy, Jet. These 5 characters will be picked by Reckoning. I could be wrong, but I think it's a very safe bet, and I'll tell you why. These players are already comfortable with the agents. They've used this exact composition on Lotus before, and this is the kind of composition that works on Pearl as well. It kind of works on Icebox as well. So it really has multiple uses. This composition of the 5 agents works on several maps together, so I think it's quite possible for them to bring it up on Icebox.
Quite possible. I mean, Harbor Viper composition, it's really good if you're able to execute it perfectly. Don't take me wrong, so far Reckoning Esports has been one of those teams that is able to execute this entire composition the best inside South Asian region. But keep this in mind, I said the best inside South Asian region. It is being utilized in other regions too, but I feel like still there are a certain amount of things where Reckoning Esports are still lacking in using the competition to their fullest, composition to the fullest potential, but they are the best in executing it to the fullest potential. But once again, we don't exactly know if that's going to be pulled out or not. As Script said as well, these are just speculations, but that's a good point from your side. There's a high chance they will probably be pulling that out as well. But considering, knowing the fact that how important Sage as well becomes in that map, I still highly doubt if there's going to be double controllers from their side or not. If they do want to bring a Sage in, there's a high chance maybe they are going to be replacing that one single controller to something else, because you also need a Killjoy on the roster and an Initiator.
Yeah, I mean, your initiator is going to be the Sky, and I guess the reason why a Sky is better than KO in situations like those is because the dog can clear out some of the more pesky angles, which can't really be cleared out by the KO knife. The flashes work the exact same way, and the way they're going to use their flashes is they use the Cascade of Harbor to just send that wall forward, and then they're going to use the flash out of it to burst out. So, again, like I said, this is speculation. I guess if they can use something similar in Split, considering they have a double controller, they can probably use their Sky to push out of their own smokes every now and then and really take Aster Army for a ride.
I mean, once again, I personally think on Icebox, Sova is the best recon initiator you can go for. Sova
it's a commitment.
is one of the best. But yeah, as you said, indeed looks like a commitment. Dominic already back in towards that. And now Reckoning Esports, they're making the players of Aster Army face the consequences. They exactly know where Dominic is as well. He's present towards screen, and what a disgusting shot from Aster. Waiting for the peek out, he's going to take him down as well. Master goes huge on the site. And now his team's here to clean things up. Hirsch is going to be the man to put the final bullet in the player in the front. Well round from the side of Reckoning Esports. Make the scoreline 7-4, and now we're going to move on to the last round in the first half.
Yeah, dude, Master's a beast. He's locked down this A side previously with the help of his Viper Spear, but this time without having anything, and after being crunched, he was still able to deliver, so that's really impressive. That being said, I was quite surprised by the way Dominic committed his ultimate. I thought he's gonna use it, check screens, and then cancel it just to get some information. But no, he stuck it. That is really something brave.
That's really beautiful. The Vandal was sent in the front to get the operator active and also put a little bit of more surprise element. Trades did happen on the Haven side, but once again in the favor of Aster Army, considering they do have the Haven's control for now. Even the showstopper was utilized, no value being found from that. Wink is still on a prowl, still on a hunt. Boya keeping his position anonymous for now. Flabbing inside the B-man area, and as long as this man's alive, of course call will be made that the entire B-man area is clear as well. Rolling Thunder used. Flabbin's, of course, done. He cannot do anything with the operator, and he will be taken care of. Boya's position compromised. Boya being shut down as well. And now Reckoning Esports, they lost the entire side control. The first half is going to end with 8-4 with a huge advantage for Aster Army.
Yeah, this is quite a good start from Aster Army. Nobody would have expected that they will be the ones to put Reckoning to... nobody would have expected that they'll be the ones to push Reckoning up against the wall. But that double ultimate commitment from Aster Army just really put Reckoning Esports in very uncomfortable situations. Hoya stayed there for so long. He thought he would be able to surprise somebody because nobody cleared him out, but then he gets double peeked. Very unfortunate. Even Flavin could have been able to kill Wink, but then the Rolling Thunder gets committed and there's another player in T-spawn to attack him. So that's just unfortunate as well. And with that, Aster Army have a good lead.
Exactly. They do have a decent lead, 4 rounds lead inside their hand, but it's all going to boil down to the second half's first round, which is going to be that pistol round. It's going to be quite crucial for Reckoning Esports, but if they're not able to get their hands on that pistol round, then you might as well count them out of this map, because they will be able to follow it up with another round as well, and maybe the momentum will be swinging in the favor of Aster Army. But anything can be happening in the second half. Before now, we're going to push to a short break. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20 Born Magnetic.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into the second half as we have Aster Army taking fire against Reckoning Esports. And now Reckoning Esports, they're only left with 2 players alive, and those 2 players seem like they've got their hands in the mouth of an alligator, and the alligator will start to munch away.
Do you know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile?
They look the same, so it doesn't matter.
No, I know the difference.
What is it?
One will see you in a while, and one will see you later.
I think so. That was a joke from your side, but I didn't.
Yeah, a really poor attempt at one, so pardon me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. You can't explain that joke to You cannot explain that joke to someone who doesn't know the difference between a crocodile and an alligator. I mean, they look pretty much the same, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, anyway, you know what looks different? It's Aster Army. They look brand new, refreshed, and deadly. Let's see if Reckoning Esports can bring them to their knees. No peeks from Kishi yet, but then he climbs up and casually, so easily, in such a fluid manner, takes a double. There might be more on the cards for him because everybody seems to be challenging him, and yeah, Harsh finally puts him out of his misery.
That's a good pick from Hirsch. That's going to open up a lot of new ways for Reckoning Esports to play this round. They will also get their hands on the Vandal. They might try and pull off a hero Vandal strategy. Hirsch is pushed up all the way in heaven. course, able to dish out some sort of damage, but I don't exactly understand why he pulls out a knife in that situation. Those kind of situation he'll pull out a knife in, and then Aster Army's going to close in from the backlines from B main and pretty much close out the round. Aster Army, they're having a nice fiery start to the second half, and they're able to seal the deal quite well.
Yeah, Aster Army are looking quite sharp today. The double digits already, and now their final test begins. If they can survive this round against Reckoning Esports, the one where Reckoning Esports have the weapon advantage, then Aster Army is slated to win this.
I really wonder what he's saying to his team. Considering Split is the first time being played inside VCSA, even the coach is not going to have a lot of information on how this team is going to be playing in the defense side on bye rounds. So a huge question mark indeed, and I really do wonder what the coach is going to be saying to the team. Maybe trying to get their mental up, considering the opponents now have a double digit on the board, and once you as a competitive player, you see that double digit against you, there's a high chance your mentality might start dwindling. As a coach, it's your duty to get it back up, and I think so that's what the coach is trying to do as well. But once again, the questions will be answered as we dial back inside the game.
Here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's still a decent bit of weaponry on Aster Army. The Bulldogs can easily help you fight at range. The Stingers and Spectres, if you position them anywhere close to mid-close, like B-Heaven or something like that, or maybe even in the vent room, I think those can also pay off some massive dividends. And in case they want some serious firepower, Doxer's got the Vandal. And Doxer has been looking really sharp.
Indeed, he has been. But speaking about this round for now, Reckoning Esports, they of course do have the guns advantage. They've got the Vandals on the board, while the opponents only have Stingers and Bulldogs and Spectres available. Only one player's got the Vandal. So of course a huge advantage on the side of Reckoning Esports. But it's a close range map, as I said. And it's at this map, even sometimes the SMGs can prove out to be quite insane. As long as you're able to play that pretty well, and if the RNG works out perfectly fine for you, then yeah.
After spending a whole minute trying to climb up mid and being slowed down by Kishi's utility, walls and slows, Reckoning Esports are now trying to enter B. For now, there's only a Stinger in the hands of Dominic defending this. Kishi won't be able to help out his teammate because he's gonna get smoked out of the action, but Dominic can at least stay alive. Kishi pushes out of the smoke, hoping to save Dominic, but they both end up dying.
30 seconds left.
Huge stuff from him. Master still lurking in mid, and I think so the lurk is expected as well. Hopefully he doesn't peek out in the wrong timing, because the breach is still watching it. Kishi, he will be taken down. Coley not inside the game anymore, but Wink is watching that angle. Wink doesn't really have a lot of HP supporting him, but Deadly 10's gonna be on fire. Players like Deadly 10 and Flabin, they need to start popping off right now. This is your guys' moment. If you guys don't try and make those heroic plays happen, Reckoning Esports will be in a tough spot.
Yeah, Reckoning Esports need to get these players set up for success. I guess a part of the way you can do that is by isolating the gunfights that they pick up with Aster Army. That's the luxury of a double controller setup. They can afford to have Harsh use his util on mid, and after Kishi slows them down to a crawl, they can still have enough left in the tank to execute B. And this time though, Aster Army have changed their setup. Almost nobody playing on A site itself, only the Killjoy utility present over there. But there is a double stack towards B Heaven. So this can be quite a lot of resistance that Reckoning Esports run into if they decide to go B Heaven. But for now, they've elected to leave that area empty. They've taken mid-vent for themselves. Should allow them to split in case they want, but they will have to do it in a very smart way mid-game.
They're just gauging a turret that is straight up pointing towards road. So they're going to try to play off contact. I'm really scared of this fucking close ranges, man. It can't prove out to be quite deadly. And exactly as I said, it does prove out to be quite deadly. And now the entire squad of Reckoning Esports, they're going to be feeling that fear, that threat inside B Heaven. Because Bucky in close ranges is going to reign supreme without a doubt. Hirsch is able to find that trade. And he's able to find the equalizer. It's going to equalize things down to a 4-on-4 situation. Master's taken down a bit low, but it's completely fine as long as he's going to play from back. He uses a controller So there's no need for him to play pushing up.
30
Kishi's
seconds
got the
left.
resurrection available. If this man's able to survive, he will go for the res.
Oh, Flabin almost dies. A large chunk of his HP taken away by the nade, but hey, Reckoning have made their way successfully towards the A site.
Swarm grenade out.
Okay, never mind. Instead of going side directly, they try to move in via A main. And that's when the alarm bots are slowing them down to a crawl. Doxer gets blind out,
Remaining.
and he's going on a killing spree,
Oh my
man.
God.
Reckoning Esports had their recipe to success, but then they decided to freestyle it and burnt their own food.
Aster Army, they played off of each other so well. They played it so freaking well. Even the man from the Heaven peeks out at the same time. Look at this double peek. It was just insane. Well calculated, good stuff from Aster Army. The teamwork is really now starting to show up. And as I said, this is the reason, exact reason why I said in the pregame segment, it still feels like Aster Army, they've got a lot of potential, but something is holding them back. It doesn't feel like Aster Army at the fullest potential. So there was a huge question mark on my face before heading inside this matchup. But as we all knew, that odds were heavily stacked with Reckoning Esports considering how the past was looking like for them. Before now, Reckoning Esports, they're definitely looking quite shaky. Things are not going in their favor. And considering now, they're going to go for some sort of broken buys with light shields and vandals.
Yeah, this is such a big risk. There's such ring around the rosies being played by both these teams. Dominic trapped. The Paranoia doesn't help him out. But look at the movement from Aster Army. They went down mid in towards the sewers, and now they climb up out of it towards despawn. Meanwhile, Reckoning Esports, they climbed up A rank, took mid-vent, and then went towards B via it. So both these teams basically avoided each other like the plague. And now that they're forced to fight each other, it will be nothing but carnage. Wink rises back from the dead, channeling his inner zombie, hoping to bite as many players before he falls. But Aster Army consider they have a massive lead and they play together yet again.
That is such a huge mistake, peeking out B main one after the other like that. I don't even understand why Deadly 10 and the teammate that was backing him up, I don't exactly remember who that person was, but there was no need for Reckoning Esports to take a fight against them when they have to call out that there's multiple people moving forward. Really no need. They could have just tried to play it off of a crossfire towards the cardboard box on the B site, and then the other guy could have tried to play it on the opposite side. That could have been a supreme crossfire that could have worked out in their favor. But Reckoning Esports instead, they just start to feel the heat and they start pushing up.
Get out of my
That's
way.
what you call the heat of the moment.
Yeah, and the heat sometimes can fry your brain, make you make those unfavorable decisions. Kishi, though, takes matters into his own hands. He's really personifying the battle stage today. Master climbing up. The Spectre at this range is deadly. But keep in mind, he is on a lone mission. A distraction, if you would rather. And he's only hoping to draw out the rotations from Aster Army, which he did. Even baited out the showstopper. And at this point, his team needs to take control of B, but they haven't really done so. They join him instead. And now A Heaven is under assault. It's up to Doxer to somehow make things work, but he's about to get massively flanked. Unless... Are you serious? They're both not looking at each other? They both turned away from each other, and we might just have a knife and not from the Blade Storm. Flabin insults Dominic, and now he knows where Doxer is.
Spike
Oh,
planted.
cheeky Flabin. No one had any clue where each other was until Flabin looked back and he knew that the opponent's in the front and realized it's a free knife kill, so might as well go for
My
it.
ultimate is ready.
Reckoning
Swarm
Esports,
grenade
it's the
out.
classic. You can always
I know.
expect some such sort of a BM from them. And Doxer is still paranoid about the backlines. He doesn't exactly know if there's someone available or not. Only got 5 bullets in the magazine. Doesn't even have a lot of HP to back him up. Keep this in mind. All they need is one more round to seal the deal on this map. And Reckoning Esports, they're still barely fighting for their lifeline. And Flabin's over here pulling off stuff like this.
Hey man, regardless of how far your team is down the economic trench or how much you've been backed up against the wall, Reckoning Esports always keep that salt shaker in their pocket, man. And it would have been a easy kill for Flabin too. Dominic was looking in the right direction, and at the very last second, he turned away to look up the stairs. Now that's just bad luck for him, I guess. But if he beats Reckoning Esports, then maybe it will really soothe his wounds. It would be like a balm.
Blocking sight.
As always, we're seeing Reckoning Esports just trying to establish that dominance, assert that dominance on mid, which I'm a huge fan of. If you're going to have that mid control, you're pretty much just playing with the enemy minds because you never know from where the push is going to be coming towards you. If the ropes control is given away or not, there's always this sort of a little thought in the back mind that you cannot get rid of once the mid control is taken away. So mid control sort of gets quite important when the map is split. Not saying that it cannot be played if you don't have it, but it just adds that icing on top of the cake if you do have it.
Yeah, but Aster Army have been quite comfortable giving away the mid area itself. What they've been doing is reinforcing B Heaven and A ramp every now and then. This time Doxer should act like an early warning system.
Speaking about that, and this man is just posted up in an off angle. Doxer with the Spectre and the close range. This weapon's going to be demolishing, or more like melting his opponents. But the trade from Reckoning Esports is on the point. They get a quick stroll on the A site and a quick control.
I have to spike.
Spike one from go through. Nothing to really stop this. The Viper Spit makes things so much harder. But considering Aster Army are on an eco, they would just look to inflict as much economic damage as possible. So it's great that they managed to bait out the Viper Spit from Reckoning Esports now, rather than have it available in some other round.
One enemy remaining.
Sky kill.
Ooh! Disgusting shot from Kishi. Woya being put to sleep. And Kishi, this man's still gonna have the nerves to go for this defuse. Holding the nerves in his hands.
Enemy remaining.
And he's trying his best to pull it off, and he does it, Kishi! That is one heck of a performance from this man to seal the deal on the map of Split. When you expected the least, Kishi pops off and goes huge for his team and seals the map Split, which was their pick for them. Once again, you cannot really say a lot just behalf of that map, considering we haven't really seen that map being played from any other team inside VCSA. This was the first ever appearance of Split in VCSA that we saw on our screens being played. So I guess you could say Aster Army had a huge upper hand because there were no VODs available against this team. But in the upcoming map, maybe things can be turned. Or maybe Aster Army can run away with the lead and seal the series 2-0. A lot of question marks, ladies and gentlemen, but they will be answered later on.
Yeah, and you don't need a WOD review to tell you how impressive that clutch from Kishi was. The round started in an eco. It wasn't supposed to be their win anyway, especially not when the Viper Spit was deployed and he's in a 1v2, but he just goes for the fights. Battle Sage? Yeah, that's the very definition of that word.
And keep this in mind, even the Viper's Pit was chunking his HP down. He only had 1 HP while he made that clutch happen. But again, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to push to a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Can't for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
I know my destiny. destiny. I know my destiny.
Before we do so, we're going to be taking a look at the agent select. And with that being said, welcome our YouTube audience once again to Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai. As we do move on forward towards the agent select, we're going to have that in front of us. Deadly 10 this time is going to lock that KO.
Wait, what? Reyna and Raze? Dude, these guys are more experimental than True Rippers.
Wait, no KJ.
No KJ. The Sage does exist in the hands of Doxer, but that's fine. Where's Killjoy? I mean, compared to this, the Harbor Viper composition that Reckoning Esports have seems very, very tame. It seems almost meta to some extent. And let's be honest, the Harbor Viper composition, we've seen DRX play it, we've seen Loud play it in VCT Lock-In. In fact, if you guys are keeping up with VCT Pacific, then you might have seen some more teams try it out. But I've seen Reyna and Raze on Icebox before, and let me be honest, it did not work out well for the team that picked it up. But regardless of whatever they do, it's still better than picking up a damn Phoenix on Icebox. They're ahead of True Rippers at the very least in that department. Aster starting out on defense, and the primary composition allows them to basically play very aggressively, which is exactly why I won't be surprised when Kishi and Wink push out of mid like this. They've reached the attacking spawn at this point. There's a two-pronged approach from Reckoning. At one hand, Flaben's already on the B side, and he's about to kill a lot of people. On the other hand, the spike's about to get planted on A, and none of the Aster members are present over there. Flaben sells the fake with his life and buys his teammates plenty of time to plant the spike on the A site.
That's huge. As I said, you either need a Harbor or a Sage to go for that plant. And that's the exact reason why I said that. The Cope's going to help you so much to get the plant down. They're able to pull it off perfectly as well. Harbor Wall is, of course, going to be there to deny any sort of vision from the screen's area. And also to try and slow their movement down a little bit if they do try and trespass it. Reckoning Esports, the post plant's looking pretty fine so far. Pulling out the post plant shouldn't be that tough for them considering the spike is right there. And they've also got the Viper Molotovs on the board. It will be delayed for now, and Hirsch starts popping off once again. Dominic pushing up quite close, and personally will be taken care of from Hirsch, but the defense is being stuck. But Kishi pops off from them, and now Kishi will be shut down as well by Hirsch. Hirsch with a 3K in return.
Yeah, dude, this aggressive composition from Aster Army is really keeping Reckoning Esports on their toes. Reckoning thought that they could probably win the round by just simply using the snake bites and fragment to buy time, but that wasn't the case. Aster Army pushed all the way inside towards pipes to get every single frag, and Harsh is lucky enough to survive that entire ordeal.
Hirsch was the man who was playing on the lineup, so the call was probably made. Hirsch needs to stay alive for as long as possible. Hirsch was watching the flanks up till then. As soon as the tap went down, he went for the lineups instantly. So he needed to stay alive for as long as possible in that moment. If it was taken down early, it was done for Reckoning Esports. Their entire post-plant scenario would have been spoiled, and they will need to try and pull it off with only pistols in the hand, which is quite tough to spam through.
Yeah, not
And now Reckoning Esports, yeah, they make a quick run onto the B site, and they will also get the plant down. This is just so bold of them. But look at Hirsch holding the flank in such an unexpected angle. No one's going to be checking this. No way they're going to go for a check on this.
Might actually be able to get all three. Run out of bullets, but they're not peeking him at the same time. They're giving him time to fall back. And by that time, Goya has also arrived to provide backup. The rest of Aster Army fall like a pack of cards in a hurricane. Except for Doxer. He stands on, hoping to deal a little more economic damage before he finally gets buried. Reckoning Esports off to a strong start.
Yeah, first 2 rounds is expected. If you're getting the pistol round in the hand, the second will be there as a quick follow-up. And they're able to follow it up pretty fast as well, and pretty fast and strong. A little bit of jittery aim from Hirsch. It does seem like this man is a little nervous, but I'm pretty sure he'll be getting his jitters off as they are going to start to build the momentum inside Icebox. Speaking about Aster Army, on the other hand, though, this is where they will be truly tested. They haven't really got all the full buys. They're going to go for some light buys safe, but let's see how it's going to work out for them.
This cascade that Master is using, it really pushes anyone from Aster Army who's playing towards green all the way back towards the site. So it's nearly impossible for Aster Army to ever fight Reckoning in this region, almost guaranteeing them the crossover towards yellow.
Here.
But because Aster Army are comfortable giving up this much area, they need to come up with a way to somehow make up for the map control lost. Maybe it comes in form of a preemptive rotation this time. And with that preemptive rotation, there's 3 defenders on the B site, and only Flabin here to continue keeping them over here. As long as Flabin can stay alive and make a little bit of noise, he will keep Aster Army stationed in the wrong place.
Yeah. Wink and Kishi are on the A side, 2-star players that they have available. So the entire A side is relying on that, but Hirsch was able to sneak in, and Hirsch saw Wink, but Wink wasn't able to spot out Hirsch in the close, so that's why Hirsch, of course, had the peeker's advantage in his hands and was able to shut him down easily. Kishi has managed to sneak in, and no one has any clue that Kishi is on the other side of the wall. And he hears every single footstep that's being given away. The call should be given away too, that they're now starting to rotate towards B. Mid flank as well should be expected soon enough. First is going to tuck in the corner. He doesn't really have a lot of HP, so he cannot go for a head-on-head collision. Decent amount of time left over. They can definitely go for the plant. The code will be deployed. They should be going for the plant soon enough, and that's what they exactly do. But is the plant denied? No, it's going to be the question. They get the plant down, and Flabin is now playing off of the entire contact, but unfortunately, they pushed up a little bit too deep and gave away their lives.
Yeah, Aster Army did some really unorthodox stuff in this round. You remember how basically Kishi locked himself out with a Sage Wall on Split on screens? This time Doxer did something similar to Kishi. He asked Doxer to place a wall with Kishi still on the other side of it. Very similar to what happened in Split, and this, if Reckoning continued down that road, then they probably wouldn't have expected Kishi over there, considering there's a wall as well. And he was using the Viper's Toxin screen for cover, so really big brains from Kishi over there to defend the A side. But with Reckoning trying to make a move towards B with like some 10, 20 something seconds left, it was gonna be chaotic regardless. And I'm surprised that they managed to kill only a couple of Aster Army players with this. But whatever they failed to do in the previous round, Flabin does it now. Kishi out of the round already.
Yeah, the aggressive plays this time not going to work out. I mean, Kishi's the man who's feeling himself inside the series, so a little overheat moments expected. And this time he's being capitalized and punished off that as well. Wink is going to do the same thing, but Reckoning Esports, they're really aware. Both of the duelists now being shut down. The star player's not inside the game, so someone needs to pop off from the rest. But so far, no is going to be the answer. Even Coley, the man who's trying to activate himself, even he gets shut down. Reckoning Esports, a clean stroll on the site, a clean execute. They get the site control off of Reckoning. Flabin on top of the screens really is trying to pull off some off-angle shenanigans, but is he going to be able to do so? The chances are quite slim. And Reckoning Esports, they're going to force Aster Army on a save.
That's a clean round from Reckoning Esports. They take every step of the map very cautiously. Just moving forward inch by inch, even if it's at the cost of pace. They basically use the cascades to drill themselves a little deeper inside every single time they use it. Meanwhile, Flabin from the top of Belt, he's dishing out all the punishment in the world. Look at how they also break the crossfires of Aster Army. They weren't very impressive to begin with, but one towards Fridge and the other one towards 410 was decent enough to hold off the attacking members of Reckoning Esports in case they came in from the right side of 410. Off to a 3-round start, and there's ultimates available on either side. Harsh has that Viper Spit, so in case he gets the plant, you can definitely expect this to get deployed.
Broken buys from Aster Army. Interesting. A Vandal and a Phantom on the board, and the rest of them just have half shields, sheriffs, or specters. So they haven't really got their hands on a complete loadout. Just got to play off of those broken buys. Maybe try to get as much as value as possible. Maybe if they're able to win the round as well, then it can, of course, be the cherry on top. But Aster Army, they're playing it quite safe. Playing for the info. They don't want to overcommit.
Yeah, I mean, Aster Army was never going to overcommit considering their economic situation. But I'm surprised that even Reckoning aren't doing the same. They're playing very cautiously, hoping to avoid a surprise stack from Aster. Now with like a minute left on the clock, they start to make their move. The wall's about to break down. Cascade sent forward to help Reckoning push deeper, but instead of going towards A, they send the Cascade and start moving towards B, where Wink is the one who's holding fort.
Kishi, with only Sheriff in the hand, holding the B site. The 0 point destroyed as well. But the Raze is not going to be able to pull off a lot. Kishi, that's a disgusting shot. On the man on the site, Kishi just puts him to sleep. And now with the updraft, Flabin trying to make something happen, but he will be denied as well. Flabin overcommitments there, but Moya with some incredible shots. He gets the 3K. That's quite nutty from Moya. But the entire aggression from Moya now being shut down. Hirsch does have the Viper's Pit available, but he's going to be forcing himself out of that. Still just trying to play really safe. Hirsch not taking any sort of risks. Throwing the snake bites, falling back of the Viper's Pit. He's going to let the Viper's Pit control go away completely.
That's going to surprise Doxer. At least now Doxer knows that Hirsch isn't anywhere close, so he thinks he can stick it, but Hirsch is already running towards him. Half done. It's a matter of patience now.
Ooh.
And Hirsch, he is stoic.
Indeed, he's stoic. That's a sign of focus, dedication, and he is given that inside the map of Icebox. He was trying to do that in Split as well, but it just didn't work out. Flabin, that overcommitment really wasn't needed, but once again, they're really just trying to go for those overcommitment moments. They're just trying to get the entire site control for as long as possible. This tactical timeout from Aster Army has to be to help him out, and I guess it has to be something along the lines of the overcommitment as well, where Reckoning Esports are pushing up and still able to find that value.
Oh, now Vandal like really getting into the details. I guess what he's trying to tell his team, just purely basing off of his hand movement, is trying to counter the harbor utility.
Exactly.
I mean, why else would he use his hands and move it if it wasn't to indicate a cascade?
It's funny how desperate we are to know these strategies, and we're trying to read all the signs possible.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure, this man is really dedicated towards what he does, and we love that dedication and that passion.
Yeah, he did seem quite passionate when he was narrating that entire strat, wasn't he? He was speaking fast, using hand movements quite aggressively, quite suggestively as well. I mean, if players were in a position to see him, I think they would be able to understand it even more clearly with the way he moved his hands and just gave that message out.
I guess the message was to play a little aggressive on B main, but now as they realize that the A side's going to be in danger, so both of them fall back once again. So this is a little switch up that came in through, and even they're able to find the opening as well, so that's a huge one. The opening sort of exchanged on both the sides, and we're down on the equal terms. It's an equalizer. 4-4 is the situation, and both of the teams have lost their individual duelists.
It's just quite weird from Reckoning. They've used the high tide. They even sent in a couple of shock darts and snake bites to clear out the more common angles, but since Aster Army were adamant on holding the A site, they now know that Reckoning aren't coming here. They know for a fact that Reckoning will be falling back, and they can make moves preemptively. Oh, but they know that they're gonna come crawling back to A. They understand their tendencies. And enough time has passed, and Master has regained, or rather regenerated his high tide, so they can use the exact same one again.
Left.
This time it leaves the right side of the site completely open. Wink is getting peppered by the fragment and the shock dart. Somehow repositions himself quickly enough to let Doxer get all the success. Bad flash from Deadly, and that is it. I don't think he can plant anymore.
He does have 13 seconds in the hand. He can
10
definitely go
seconds
for the
left.
plant though. But now it's starting to overthink the scenarios, and now he cannot plant anymore. The overthinking situation really didn't pan out that well for him, and Doxter's gonna peek out quite aggressive, but Deadly 10 sneaks in at the nick of time. Only with a classic in the hand, it's gonna be next to impossible to pull it off. He relied a bit too much in that burst. And Vandalic, it seems like whatever he said, at least it worked out so far. So that was perfectly set, I guess. They left the entire B site on Dominic, considering he had the Viper's Pit available. So once again, as we all know, Aster Army, they had 3 players stacked up on the A side later on, and the Viper was the only one on the B side. So I guess the call was made that you can try to play with your Viper's Pit, but the 3 of us will play on the A side no matter what. And if it was the B side commitment from Reckoning Esports, the Viper's job was just to delay it for as long as possible.
Yeah, to delay it as long as possible, and in case the Harbor used his utility, then Aster Army, all they have to do is use the nades to keep them back and just disrespect the Harbor utility, play ahead of it, so Reckoning Esports actually have to fight rather than just sending water walls and covering the distance in.
Spike down B.
Quite a lot of aggression towards B this side from either team, and it results in a 4v4.
Yeah. They've lost out on their controller. Dominic not inside the game anymore, but look at how deep they've already pushed in. Aster Army, we're seeing a huge change in the pace. They're playing just so aggressive, and Hirsch was able to jump spot both of them. That's a lot of vital information being given away, and now Coley's able to find such a huge value with the Hunter's Fury as well. No command being popped. Every single player from Reckoning Esports is now starting to move in. Flabbin being shut down as well. The operator's not able to work out. And Aster Army, a clean sweep on the B site. No way they're going to be able to trespass in like that.
Yeah, now Reckoning Esports starting to falter a little bit. Their communication seems to have some issues in this round because you see the timing at which the Harbor utility was deployed, and then you see how much effort it took them. The fact that they lost Master and Harsh right at the start of the round also made things very difficult, so they had no choice but to make contact.
That's some crazy stuff. And now the scoreline is being pulled way too close for comfort once again. Aster Army somehow to make the comeback happen. Aster Army. They are trying to get information on the mid, but one player's already sneaked up quite deep towards kitchen. Now the position's given away. Recon drone utilized as well to gain some sort of information, but that was going to be the answer. Visual information is going to be the only confirmation they have so far. Dominic, on the other hand, is way too low, and he cannot afford to reveal his position, but both the players have sneaked in from the opposite side. The site control's given away. Dominic doesn't know one player's way too close for comfort, and Master finds the trade onto him. It was sort of a broken buy from Reckoning Esports, and now Voya is the only man alive with a Guardian in the hand. Seems next to impossible to pull it off, but all he takes is one godly play to turn the tide in their favor. And Voya misses that single opportunity, and Coley will not let that pass by.
Yeah, this was quite a weird run for Aster Army to win. Reckoning just seemed so discombobulated. First, it was up to Voya to make a mid play work, and because Aster Army lacked a killjoy, he thought that it would be easy to exploit kitchen, and he's not wrong in thinking that way. But you have Dominic playing in a one and done angle, getting so much value extracted, killing the spike carrier, and allowing his teammates time to rotate in. It is not going to be possible for Reckoning Esports to somehow break open these Aster crossfires if that's what they're hoping to do.
The only reason why kitchen presence was given away is because they shot the mid recon dart.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why it was given away. If they wouldn't have shot the recon dart and they would have let Voya move it forward, they could have had the surprise element in their hand and also huge flank inside the game. But that one single mistake from Reckoning Esports gave their entire strap book away, and Aster Army were easily able to get the, or at least regain the kitchen control back in their hands with the Sova utility. So that was played perfectly from Aster Army as soon as they realized that it's now being given away. But Reckoning Esports, they've lost out on 2 players, and they're quite important players as well. Master and Deadly 10 not inside the game anymore. Inside this series, Deadly 10 is deactivated. This man needs to wake himself up.
Spike down A.
And Harsh can't really do anything. His teammates tried to trade him out, but unfortunately, Wink is too fast. Voya and Flabbin left to make their moves, and they're being held back by this Viper wall. And while that's happening, he's already on the move behind them.
Spike down A.
It's all done. They're definitely going to take it. overtaken them
Just
5
listen.
rounds in a row. And with this, I think Reckoning Esports will be broke now. I don't think they have enough money for the next round.
They're not gonna have money at all. This was barely a buy that they try to squeeze off somehow.
Enemy remaining. Spike.
And now they're gonna be completely broken. And once again, a timeout from Reckoning Esports. Let's see what they're gonna try to speak. The coach definitely has some mistakes that he wants to point out for his team, what they're doing wrong, and what they can try to improve in which sort of departments. A lot of talking's being done back and forth from both the sides, and I really would like to know what sort of a talking is that. Pretty sure as soon as this timeout ends, we will be able to see that effect on the entire game. Because so far, be it whatever team, if they are taking a tactical timeout, we've always seen that impact right after that timeout inside the game.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I would like to point out is that the main strength of a Harbor Viper composition is that any team that uses it on attacking side can cover the distance while blocking the vision of the defenders in a much more effective way than your other normal controllers. And this allows the attackers to move up the map without actually having to fight.
Stay in the
And
moment.
one thing that needs to be done to make this successful is to play together. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Reckoning Esports need to take a page out of Aster Army's playbook and start playing as a 5-man rushing unit, as a death ball.
My ult's ready. What's this?
Speak about the death balls. Blade Storm being popped out. And Flabin's going to be the man who is going to probably unleash himself. And that's what he's trying to do. He at least gets the first one, but dies to the snake bite instantly. So at least the trade was there on the board. Perfectly done from Aster. Trying to isolate that duel against him. And the snake bite was placed perfectly so Flabin couldn't fall back. Really nicely done. Aster Army, these clinical plays, these micro details are really now starting to help him out inside the game. Dominic able to sneak in another kill for himself and Voya being shut down. Aster Army, they're just lining him up, and Dominic is the man who's sort of feeling himself inside this round. If Reckoning Esports wants to get back inside the competition, Deadly 10 needs to wake up.
Yeah, he's not having a great game, is he?
Usually
he's on point. Usually he is the one who can turn the tide of the game, but now that Aster Army have him deactivated, it is really taking a toll on the team. He was hitting some really nice Sheriff one-taps in the previous map. I guess all that magic is somehow gone now.
Deploying.
But even in the previous map, his impact wasn't felt that much. I guess today is just an off day for Deadly 10. Hopefully he's going to be able to recover though soon enough, because he needs to recover himself. Because if time keeps him running away, then Deadly 10, boy oh boy, things can be proven really bad for you. But don't worry, these guys are doing pretty good in the overall standings, so they are probably going to be moving forward towards the playoffs. It's going to be tough to steal it away from them. Flabin pushing up quite deep, was not able to find the kill, but at least Flabin's not low, so that's going to add on a point. But Kishi will now just nail the shot right onto his dome. Man being shut down, Kishi feeling himself, aim on point. Reckoning Esports on the other hand, they're starting to bounce back inside this round. High Tide was placed, and the High Tide's able to deny a lot of visual. But once again, Aster Army, they're just somehow able to win this duels. We're now balled down to a 3-on-2 scenario. Deadly 10's able to activate himself finally. He's able to stay alive this late inside the game, and the Fragment's gonna find one kill as well, but Dominic!
Wow.
What was that 180 flick right in the back?
Yeah, some stuff you can't explain, dude. This is that kind of a round where the firepower just reigns supreme for Aster Army. Reckoning Esports had whatever they needed to win. The entry into the site was not bad. They got the spike, and they also managed to fall back into post-1 positions, which normally Aster Army don't let Reckoning do. But now, it just seems like a whole different side of Aster Army. You can even see that Reckoning tried to play a little deeper this time, and they were able to pull it off quite well as well, you know? The Harbor Ultimate invested, along with the push in deep towards Oranges, gave Reckoning the man advantage they were looking for, but I guess they overstayed their welcome and somehow let Aster Army get the momentum back by neutralizing the advantage.
Once again, some heavy presence towards B main. They're able to do that pretty nicely. They're able to take the B main control. They're also able to take the site control. But it always is boiling down to that overextension. When they're trying to overextend themselves all the way towards the B site, things are not really panning out that well. Flabin dashes on the way towards the yellow containers. Not a good way to dash on there. And that's why he got caught as well.
Yeah,
No command being popped. Yeah.
She did not know that there was already presence deep into the site. That's why he was taken down. But Goldie, he is on fire. Doxer's rotation inside gets caught off by Harsh, and his mid flank was supposed to be crucial. It's rare of Goldie to miss opportunities like this, but he finally finishes what he started.
Oh my God.
And while they were busy focusing on Goldie, they had no idea that the raise is coming in from behind.
Oh, Reckoning Esports, indeed a moment where you're gonna have your hands on the forehead. Whatever you're trying to bring to the table, it's not working out. And it's going to be the first half as well, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, an 8-4 half on the map of Reckoning Esports. This is the map where Reckoning Esports has put a lot of trust and faith on. But these moments, these type of whiffs are really costing them a lot. And Aster Army, you gotta say one thing. The teamwork has increased even more. This team is looking like a well-oiled machine. And you gotta love all the plays this team is able to pull off so far.
A well-oiled death machine, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot more where that came from. Stay tuned because we're going to be back with the second half after this short break.
Can't feel my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Can't feel my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's a moment of panic, of course. It's a moment of worry. A huge sign of worry on the faces of Reckoning Esports. It makes a lot of sense, too. Starting the second half, this is not the mood you want to start the second half off. And one thing with the way it's looking like is, of course, that Reckoning Esports, they haven't been able to reset their mental at all. Because we saw what sort of a mood Flabin was in when the webcams were being shown.
Yeah, he looked defeated. At least Harsh was trying to cheer everybody up by giving them fist bumps all over the place. But Master goes for the standard high tide, which blocks off the entrances of B main, delaying Aster Army for a couple of seconds, but Aster can always recover by using the drone to clear out the common angles. At the same time, Flabin tries to make contact towards mid. He doesn't find anybody, so he's going to quickly make his way towards the back of mid again, hoping to come in with the flank. And the Toxin Screen actually lets them plant. A tiny gap is available which Deadly uses to kill Goalie, but they gotta be careful about the flanker as well. Flabin rejoins his teammates instead of continuing down greens, and Doxer pushes deeper inside.
One enemy remaining.
That's a huge concern. Master whiffed shots that he shouldn't have been able to whiff like that. And Doxer got rewarded with a free kill for himself. At least the scan goes off and his position gets compromised. So Doxer's being shut down easily. That's a desperately needed round for Reckoning Esports. At least now there's a high chance that they might be able to bounce back inside this game.
Yeah, with the pistol round under their belt, they can definitely start chaining this momentum together.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that can probably stop them is one unexpected force buy victory by Aster Army.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, that would only happen if Aster decide to go for the force buy. Are they doing so? Nah, they're not. They often don't go for these force buys.
Oh, these guys are drunk.
Oh, you mean the bear, the teddy bears? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about one of the players, and I'm like, huh?
No, man. The observer showed us the teddy bears, and I said, okay, yeah, these guys are drunk. They're having a celebration, man.
That's exactly why Blaze scared of them.
Right here.
Who's scared of them?
Blay.
Revealing
Oh.
area.
Yeah. He made that statement during the first VCC when Icebox was like a new map. He found the bears scary. I think he said it for comic effect, but I kind of take that seriously, bro. Wing takes this move seriously. He just went in unchecked like a ninja. Harsh had no idea.
Interesting start, of course. And a huge advantage given over to Aster Army. Definitely not an advantage you want to give away, but they have done so somehow. If Reckoning Esports aren't able to capitalize on this and not able to bounce back with that sort of an injury they have dealt upon themselves, then this is going to be a huge misery for them. And the timing Aster Army have been able to sneak in
30
with,
seconds
that is
left.
incredible. No one's being spotted so far. Reckoning Esports, they've got no clue that there's an entire team just waiting for them inside kitchen. Another one being taken down. Aster Army, this team is filled with assassinators, and they're assassinating anyone that stands in front of them. Aster Army, some good
10 seconds
showcase of skills this team is showing.
Round B.
Nice
Last
timing,
player
nice
standing.
way
One
to
enemy
position
remaining.
themselves, and some good big brain plays. Spike's gonna go down as well. Of course, a huge moment, and also can be a huge sigh of moment for Aster Army as they got the spike plant down inside an eco round, and now it's ball down to a one-on-one scenario. Already a lot of guns have been taken away from their hands, and Flabben's not gonna be expected in mid. Flabben does manage to seal the round, but still, Reckoning Esports, they took that round on what cost? They lost out so many guns.
Yeah, it's not going to be much of a bonus round in the next one now, isn't it?
Yeah.
The problem over here is that Reckoning used that timing to their advantage. I'm sorry, not Reckoning. Aster Army used that timing to their advantage in the most unexplainable way. It just happens to be that Harsh doesn't see Wink coming over there. And once again, even though Reckoning were marking mid to some extent, they just happened to not peek at the moment where Aster Army was moving in via tube.
Yeah.
Boya had
timing.
the rudest surprise of his life when he saw 3 of them in kitchen.
He saw all 4. Oh man, innocent Boya, no clue. An entire team just standing in front of him, a team of assassinators, which assassinate him. They were able to move in so sneakily as well. Look at the amount of damage Deadly 10 caught upon himself. Some beautiful tracking through the walls. And now, with the entire enemy team of Reckoning being forced on in bonus round, at least off on broken buys, pulling this round off seems pretty next to impossible. Unless they're able to connect some incredible nutty shots, then it's going to be a whole different story.
Revealing
Slow
area.
plus paint shell combination to kill anyone who's playing default. The toxin screen cuts off screens, and this forces Reckoning Esports to invest a lot of their players towards the back of site, which they do, and they're actually getting some value out of it. Fragment delays them for just a bit, but Aster Army get the plant regardless. But Reckoning have now acquired the man advantage, and they can even recover a weapon. Warrior wins the duel with a ghost. Now that's not supposed to happen. Now the round's starting to slip out of Aster Army's hands, and Reckoning Esports are seemingly in control. They're in the driver's seat. The Ko, as well as the High Tide, protects the planter for quite a long time. The snake bites keep them away. But how much can Dominic do now? Reckoning
Last
Esports
man.
players are now armed to the teeth.
Yeah, it's just last man with a lot of dreams in front of him. All the players are softened up, but there are literally too many players that can try to play off of each other. Perfectly done. As I said, it was looking next to impossible unless some insane shots were connected, and that's what exactly happens. Oh, you see some known faces in the back there. That do work in NODWIN Gaming. If Candy, you're watching the English broadcast, bro, just want to let you know I love you.
I don't think he's going to be watching the Hindi broadcast. Wait, what casting is being broadcast in the venue? I think Hindi, right? Considering the Hindi talent are present on venue.
I have no clue. Never went there. Didn't even ask.
Oh shit, man. See. Let's start a petition. Let's start a petition to bring us
I even
to
doubt
the
if
venue
there's
as well.
a casting going on in the venue, or they're just able to see the game. I even doubt that.
Oh. I guess we'll only find out when we go there for ourselves.
I guess.
Which should
Well, I mean,
hopefully be during the playoffs, I guess.
I guess you're expecting a little bit too much there, Crips.
Oh shit, bro! Don't break my heart like this, man. Don't break my heart like this. I want to meet everyone.
Well, unfortunately for you, I guess the chances are pretty slim. But we're gonna move inside this timeout, right? So Aster Army, they've called out for a timeout considering they lost the previous round, and it was the bye round for Aster Army. On the other hand, Reckoning Esports just were playing off of the broken buys, but somehow Aster Army lost out that round. Now, what is going to be the backup plan over here? It's going to be broken buys even from the side of Aster Army to try and pull something miraculous off over here, just off of complete mechanical skills.
And they... What?
Yeah. Sort of did. And now, Reckoning Esports, as we all know, all the 5 players are definitely up there. Coley and Dominic were being shut down a while ago. So Aster Army, now they're only down to a 3-man squad. It makes a lot of sense too. You don't really have the superior weaponry. Reckoning Esports were somehow able to squeeze out the round when they had the broken buys, but Reckoning Esports, with this sort of a scenario, they're able to find both of those players who were lurking on the mid. And now Doxer is the only man left alive. He should be cleaned up easily.
Yeah, Aster Army squandered their advantage that they worked so hard to acquire. It's not often you pull off eco rounds like this against Reckoning. You can't afford to lose them to Reckoning too.
30 seconds left.
And there's no upgrade available for him. The spikes drop so deep inside enemy territory. It's nearly impossible to get even close to it, especially with Voya marking the angle. Now that the score is equalized, Reckoning Esports have a chance back in this game. They might even be able to push it to map number 3.
Might. A huge might.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, they're able to find the recovery, but once again, that recovery should not slip away from their hands. The momentum has been slipping over and over again. And it's not the first time that has happened. It happened even in the previous map. Reckoning Esports, it does seem like Woya is the man who's trying to bring the confidence up. He's also got a smile on his face. He does seem quite confident. But his team, on the other hand, though, they are definitely showing a lot of struggles.
Yeah, but they might start to believe now that the scores have been equalized. Look at the confidence from Deadly as well as Voya. They're pushing together towards Hey, deal with Kishi instantly. I'm surprised that the showstopper takes only 1, but Goldie refrags it.
will not kill my allies.
That is so unfortunate for Flabin. That was his opportunity to take down the Viper, and if he would have taken down the Viper, it could have proved out to be huge, but he wasn't able to do so successfully. Now they've still got the controller up and alive. A huge problem for Reckoning Esports. Operator not connecting. And now they might just will need to face the consequences of that. Aster Army slowly steadily moving in inside the entire A side as well. They're able to get the site control in their hands. Flabin moving in with the operator. He wants to get his revenge kill, and he does find that. But now he's also getting flanked from mid. Too many angles to worry about. Flabin all by himself towards mid, and there's a high chance he might just whiff this shot, and that's what exactly happens. Aster Army, they capitalize once again, and there's also a little BM.
Dominic's resurgence is so impactful. Yes, the lack of a controller would have made things somewhat easier for Reckoning Esports, but because Dominic had already deployed his toxin screen towards the B site, he can't really do much to help his team move inside A.
Look at this.
He can't provide too much cover, so he does the next best thing. Kill anyone who's trying to retake. Go in for that flank.
And just to let the viewers know, if you guys are watching this stream, that was not a BM. He was just testing his crouch button and his right click on the mouse. So
okay, of course.
It's nothing else. He was just making sure it works. It was not BM at all. It's a friendly environment, family-friendly environment. He was just making sure that his gear works properly, so he was just crouching over and over again. But yeah, now we're gonna focus inside this round. Reckoning Esports, they've got the Reckoning available off Harbor, which they can try and utilize towards this retake. Finally, we're seeing a basic execution coming in. They're going to go for the plant off of the Sage wall. Flabin was trying to pull off some incredible plays, but unfortunately wasn't able to spot out anyone towards B-man area.
Yeah, at least this tells them that most of them are going to be playing inside the Viper's pit. Reckoning Esports are offered fights outside of it, and they're actually winning this. Kishi unnecessarily playing deeper towards the orange region. I cannot despise that. But Dominic is using the angles to his advantage, slipping in and out of his own Viper's pit. Goalie's playing safe though, so nobody can teach him a lesson. Voya just playing ring around the rosies, and now that Dominic's down, it falls onto Goalie's capable shoulders. And he's doing a decent job so far. He's done enough to let the spike boil down and get the round in his hands. Double digits for Aster Army.
Really well played from Aster Army. And as I said, Reckoning Esports, so far inside this series, they are known for letting the momentum go away from their hands. And once again, exactly that thing happens. The momentum's lost. Even though Aster Army inside the plays, it did look like sort of a scrappy round from the side of Aster Army, which should have been clean. Mistakes were made from both the sides, but Aster Army were just able to capitalize on the enemy's mistakes a little bit better. A tactical timeout from Reckoning Esports that is desperately needed for them, and something needs to be figured out right here and right now.
Reckoning Esports just need to capitalize on the chances that Aster Army extend to them. If Astro give them an inch, then Reckoning need to take a mile off of it. And this time as well, as much as I don't like the re-aggression from Aster Army towards B Oranges, it was somewhat necessary for them to keep all the Reckoning members stationed towards Oranges to stop them from coming deeper towards Yellow, where Kohli was residing. And that's exactly why they were just offering these fights, going for it time and time again. But you can't expect to do the same thing again and hope that Reckoning don't punish you. Reckoning will adjust to this. So now that Aster Army have used that post-plant aggression strat, they've already used it once, I don't think Reckoning will fall victim to it again.
They shouldn't. They've got 3 abilities that can help them retake the site. Hunter's Fury, Reckoning, and the Viper's Pit. So it should be next to impossible to lose this round out, right?
On paper, yeah.
If played correctly, I guess, and if you're able to win those duels, then 100%, it should be next to impossible to lose out this round. Quite a nice recon drone, of course, but Harsh was able to find the opening. That's a good opening, too. Viper's Pit successfully able to stop the entire push for now. And the spike as well is being dropped towards outside the A main. Still quite indecisive. Aster Army doesn't exactly know where they want to commit towards. And now as they've lost out the on-the-man advantage as well, they should be second-guessing themselves a little bit more.
And Wink is going to try to make a contact play. His presence gets detected by the 0 point, but Reckoning can't tell for sure if he's alone over here or if the rest of the teammates just managed to avoid that utility. Dominic needs to make a difference. He's trying to sneak in via mid. He can activate his Poison Cloud and go into his tube. And he just walked past Flabin, who's holding there with the op. He can capitalize on the timing. There's one towards his left. Harsh gets the kill on him faster, and Voya is trying to deny the plant with the Hunter's Fury. But look at Aster Army. They're already running back towards the A site. There's very little time left, so if they can make their way inside, this should be a decent enough plant. Master on the other hand.
This is really good.
Yeah, he just needs to kill the spike planter. That's
10
all.
seconds left.
If not, just delay them with any sort of utility. But that's not happening. The spike will go down inevitably.
But this is really good for Aster Army, considering they started the round out for the huge man advantage, or man disadvantage, I would like to say. And now they're able to boil it down to quite a neutral stuff, but an incredible shot right on the skull of Wing to crack it open. Doxer playing for the post plan. Even Kohli as well is going to rely on that Hunter's Fury. He's able to shut the first man down, but now the call should be made to Kohli that the man is trying to overextend to Virtue. Voya is in the clotheslines. The initial shots won't connect, and Voya will have the advantage in that fight. Shuts him down easily. Reckoning Esports another round on the board. This matchup is getting way too close to comfort. It shouldn't be this close considering it was the pick of Reckoning Esports. But I love the fact that everyone's still having smiles on their faces, even they're here to support Reckoning Esports.
Yeah, these plays by Aster Army, man, they seem desperate sometimes. When Reckoning close in the distance, Aster Army feel compelled to make these kind of moves, which they wouldn't normally make under normal circumstances, you know? But now it just seems like whatever advantage they acquire is being squandered away.
Scanning ahead.
That can be the narrative of the entire game this way, you know?
I guess Aster Army at last was always a force to be reckoned with. Just had some stuff hidden. or I guess wasn't really able to activate themselves. But now they've finally found the groove inside the South Asian region, and they're able to shine through pretty nicely. A huge change in the pace this time. Not trying to brute force their way through mains or anything. Taking their sweet little time, utilizing the utilities perfectly to try and scan out the areas. Master's playing off a contact as soon as he gets any sort of information that there is a peek out there. Master will try to fall back instantly, and that's what he exactly does. Now he'll try to play for the post plant. Kishi was the man who's trying to overextend, add that surprise element to the game as well, and he will be able to punish the first man. Instantly dismisses and falls back. How is he able to make it alive?
More importantly, how did Master die to the paint shell? Flabin gets a nice flank kill, and he recognizes that the spike carrier is nowhere close to the site, so this lets Reckoning Esports adjust. And they're adjusting by reinforcing mid instead. Fake plant. They try to kill Doxer. The tiny wall protects him. Wait, there's a man next to Kishi. I'm surprised that Hoya didn't kill him, and it fell up to Harsh to shoot him down. But this overextension from Kishi was the second time in this round. He can't pull off the same thing again and again. He needs to learn his lesson. 2v2. A resurrection committed. Goalie might just be the difference maker over here. But Hoya wants to tap this spike. Wink taps his head off instead. And Flabin now has to do everything. And it's not enough, dude. Aster Army they're just running closer towards the win again and again.
They're just looking mighty. What can you say? Reckoning Esports, they're just getting outperformed, to be honest. Reckoning Esports are definitely having these moments where they are able to shine through as well. And Aster Army, nothing taken away from them. But there are these moments even from them where they are sort of choking. But the problem is that Reckoning Esports isn't able to capitalize on those choking moments in time.
Yeah.
And that's where, if the punishment's missing, that means you're pretty much giving another lifeline to your opponents. This time, Flabin is going to be holding an off angle with the operator, trying to catch someone off guard. Definitely quite an interesting angle. You can try to find a killer right over here if Kishi decides to overextend without a leer. He should be cut off instantly. Flabin's holding the angle, just waiting patiently like an eagle. It's a Marshall, actually. Oh, man. Sometimes it gets kind of confusing if you don't look at the HUD. But Kishi was able to shut him down regardless.
Master goes unchecked. He might get a free kill. Dominic taken off. And Wink doesn't check it either. This is way more than Master. Bargain for another one through the wall. Sight or no sight, vision or no vision, Master gets them all. And now Doxer is kind of trapped. Kohli has to man the back lines because he knows there's someone coming in. And Doxer has to somehow get a space for himself safe enough to plant. He can't get that because Deadly Ten's already behind. And Deadly Ten doesn't mind giving away his position. He knows he's got Aster Army cornered, but Aster Army try to fight their way back. Doxer, the head of the spear, using it to carve out a path. And now this spot is wide open for them. They can go all the way from defender spawn towards the B site. And Deadly Ten, he has nothing to do but just watch his teammates fall.
A big brain move indeed from Aster Army. Just playing with their enemy minds, and then just pushing all the way towards the opposite side. And getting the plant down. Deadly Ten. He's trying to squeeze all the way through this no-man area, but there's a flank coming in towards him, and he will be taken down soon enough, and he exactly does. Aster Army able to play this out so well. The mind games from Aster Army are exactly on the point, and they're always able to find these timings. And as I said, the punishment, the capitalization from Reckoning Esports just isn't there. This was a huge 3K. It could have proved out to be the armor. It could have proved out to be a huge light at the end of the tunnel, but he wasn't being capitalized from Reckoning Esports.
Yeah, and I do feel bad for Master. Up until now, he was having quite a game of being baited out every single time, and he wasn't able to frag out all that much. But the one round in which he pops off, his team fails to capitalize, so that is sad. Now Wink, he can feel the victory close to him. He's channeling all the aggression inside. Aster Army are running away with this game.
What?
Master once again left all by himself. He made it look possible in the previous round, but now he looks defeated.
Still, he's got some sort of lifeline left in his hands, and he's trying to squeeze out every single bit of performance he can. And Master might just be able to catch Kohli over here. Coley knows that he's the only last man left alive, so he might as well start overheat and all that stuff. He's also dropped out the gun in the mid. They're now just trolling over here, and Aster Army, they claim the final kill as well. A 2-0 series from Aster Army, a huge upset for Reckoning Esports fan. Who would have known this fact that Aster Army is going to prove themselves so well against a team that's doing fabulous in their groups? A team that didn't even lose out on a single map today will lose an entire series to a team that is struggling in the overall standings. Aster Army, the underdog story comes true. The fairy tale comes true.
And this is all on the back of Kishi aggressing further and further in. It seemed questionable at one point, but then the overarching message was clear. He needed to be the one who creates space for the team, and the rest of them can capitalize really, really well. It's like a wrecking ball. Once it starts moving, it's impossible to stop it. And Aster Army have just pulled off what many people considered impossible. Going into today's matchup, Aster Army were the underdogs, and Reckoning Esports were touted as the next kings of Indian Valorant. Reckoning's previous performance has made them look so strong that many considered that they can even give Orangutan a run for their money. But now Aster Army have proven them wrong.
And considering all the trash talk that was going on Twitter, now I want to see what the social media manager is going to be lining up for a tweet. Man, I'm really excited what he's going to be having lined up because, again, I mean, as I said, I have nothing against them, but it's just some sort of entertainment that's being added on towards this entire esports scene in South Asia by Reckoning Esports, which is quite entertaining, of course, and I'm down for all the trash talks, of course, because it's quite entertaining and I have fun doing so. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to push the short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Can't for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you